This next joke is, I do this every time, and I hate it every time, but I keep doing it. This next joke is for the ladies in the audience. Ladies. Thanks, Zach. Have you ever been using a vibrator and you're like almost there and the vibrator's batteries die? That's the fucking worst. Thank you. Like, one woman was like, yes. Like, very solemnly, like, yes. That is the respect that grave situation deserves. Like, it's just like, it's the fucking worst. And like, I complain about it like to like anyone that will listen for like 2 days afterwards. And like at some point somebody was like, well, at that point you could just like finish with your hand, right? And I was like, well, I mean, I guess. If your car broke down halfway to the grocery store, couldn't you just get out and walk the rest of the way? Takes you like 45 minutes longer than you were planning for. You're all like sweaty and panting, but not in a fun, sexy way. In the end, it's like, did you really need Oreos that bad in the first place? I was a super weird kid growing up because I was homeschooled, so I didn't really like know how to make friends. And so I like somehow decided that the best way to make friends was to sit in a tree and watch my neighbors swim. So I would just be sitting there, you know, for hours like a tiny Ted Bundy. Just kind of like, And it was for hours, and the weird thing about it was that it would eventually work. Like, one of them would just kind of like trudge over and be like, hey, Andrea, do you want to come and swim? Do you want to come and swim? Do you want to come and swim? And I'd be like, what? Me? That was not what I was expecting from this interchange. You think that I was sitting here waiting to be invited? No, I was just doing my tree sitting, which is a normal thing that people do. But I would like rip off my sundress and be wearing a swimsuit underneath. My parents eventually got wind of that, and like there were white suburban parents, so they didn't talk to me about it, but rather just bought me a pool. Which did not work for two reasons. One being that their pool was heated, and the other being that when I would pretend to drown for attention, it would work so much better with an audience there. So yeah, I didn't really know how to talk to people when I was a kid. I still didn't really know how to talk to people. I have like anxiety. I'm like super depressed. It's all this mess. But like I feel like your strengths are your strengths and your weaknesses are your strengths. So I made like some mental illness pickup lines that like they worked for me. So now I'm gonna share them with you. So it'd be something like, oh, hey, are you a situation where I show up to school and I'm naked and my friends make fun of me and then my mom is dead? Because I dream about you every night. Or like, hey, you must be my SSRI, because if I don't take you orally once a day, I become depressed and irritable. Like, oh, hey, are you my suicide? Because I've meticulously planned out exactly how and when I want to do you, but I never will. All right, I'm going to end on this one, you guys. I went to an STD clinic kind of recently, and at the end of that visit, the nurse was like, hey, Andrea, I would love to talk to you about your faith. And I was like, could I put some pants on first? And she kind of gives me like the 90-second elevator spiel about how I'm a sinner and I'm separated from God and he wants to like bring me up into heaven, and she wants to know if I want to pray with her, to which I have like a magazine subscription kind of response, like if she was like a Boy Scout on my doorstep, just like, oh, not today. Just maybe come back. Just call me, let me know, see how I'm feeling. Definitely call me if I have herpes, because then I will change my answer. And the last thing she said, she's like, Andrea, God will reveal himself to you if you let him. To which I was like, oh, listen, bitch. Letting someone reveal himself to me is the reason that I'm here in the first place. So fool me twice, shame on me, right? You guys, I had a ton of fun tonight. I'm Andrea Springer.
Give it up to Andrea.